podcast show since the misfits couldn't carry on. But I'ma carry on and get the party cracking. The homegirl 7 carats known for text blasting. Get she on the rob if you want action. 800 plus, it's a known fashion. Keep her back up playing custom wheels cracking. Big Cell can keep it real, what a passion. All gas, no break, in and out of traffic. You see your brother on a hole, respect the passions. Whether they outlaws or outcasts. Big Cell's top 5 when you in traffic. Roger Rod, mind your business, stay in your own lane. Respect others and set the game. Spread black love the old fashioned way. You miss the West with the South, this a master pass. F-H-O, F-H-O, F-H-O. Big Cell in your radio. F-H-O, F-H-O, F-H-O. Big Cell on your radio. F-H-O, F-H-O, F-H-O. Big Cell in your radio. F-H-O, F-H-O, F-H-O. Big Cell on your radio.
Again, appreciate y'all, man. I love you guys. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the donations.
No doubt.
Don't forget, man, support the channel, support the platform. I need you. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And again, man, I love you guys. Don't forget the 5 things I'm gonna leave you with. Ride your own ride, stay in your own lane, mind your business, have enough love in yourself to have some love for me. We're gonna ride for love and love to ride, man. We gone, man. What up? It's your boy, Big Cell FHOH, and I see I'm in the building. Yeah, I got something for y'all ass today. Special guest in the building. And before we get started, let me just say this. A lot of y'all been calling me worried about, Cell, man, listen, man, we finna do this shit professional, and we finna do this shit clean, and we finna do this shit the real way. You feel me? We're going to talk about what was, what is, how it used to be, how it is now, who changed it, what was the purpose, what was the reason, and was it justified, or did it make the set better, or did it make the set worse? So we're going to get into all that today, and I got me a Bay legend, a Bay historian in the building, and we're going to talk about all that today. So stay tuned, because it's definitely going down right here on FHO Podcast Radio. And that's what it is.
Yo, man, it's your boy Big Sarge from Florida Chapter Soul Brothers, man. Y'all know how I get down. I'm always listening to my man, Big Cell from FHO Podcast Radio. He keep it motorcycling.
And before I do this, you know I got to give this disclaimer.
Means graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
And for all y'all who think I give a fuck,
kiss my entire ass.
Yes, sir. Let's get this thing cracking, man. It's your boy, Big Cell FHOH, and I see we in the building, FHO Podcast. This is where you're supposed to go tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, because it's going down right here today. And we finna get into it, man. I'm finna show y'all my special guest. Let her introduce herself. And we finna go from there, man. We finna talk about how the Bay was won. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we finna get into, man. Listen, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I can't do it without you. I need you guys' subscriptions. I thank everybody for helping the channel grow, getting back on point. You guys have motivated me to get back in the studio and do this. It takes a lot of work to do this stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes. So and ain't none of this stuff in here cheap. We don't do nothing cheap nowhere in this motherfucking vicinity around here. So it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I introduce my guest, show you she is. I want y'all to know this too, though. Be careful because she's sensitive about her shit. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I got a whole audience back there. What's going on, Miss Lady? Man, you know me just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, man. Can everybody hear me? Is the volume correct? Everybody good on the volume? Can everybody hear me? Everybody good? Everybody good. Anybody got any issues with volume? Let me see. Let me double check. Anybody got any issues with volume? Okay, yeah. That means we good. We good. We good. Yep. All right. Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, what you got going on. Hold on, Tiff. I done fucked up already. Hold on. I think I done fucked up. Hold on. I'm finna fix this right now. Rowdy. No, 2 is on. You're on 2 and 2 is on. Speak again, Tiff. Now you coming through loud. Come on, man. I cannot be having this. Hold on, y'all, because this is crazy. Hold on. What am I doing now? What am I doing? Let's fix this. He's on 2. Yes. We got it working. Everything is on. Okay, 2. Bam, 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 bam. Oh my goodness. Look at this shit. 2, 2. Okay. Hold on. There y'all. This. 1 second, y'all. Hold on. We got to get this. You ain't going to get me like that, player. You ain't going to get me like that, player. Okay, so. We're not on. So, boom, boom, boom. Blue, 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 blue. Everything is blue. 2. August. 2, chapter 2. That's crazy. Come on now. We're not finna do that. 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 So why are you not? No device. Red. New device. Arrow. But why are you searching? We don't need to search. Okay, so let me see. Ain't nowhere in the world. don't think about it. No. Hold on, y'all. I got it. Turn her mic on. You always with the bullshit at the wrong time. Last. I see. See. And this is coming. I have my. One, two. One, two. One, two. I don't apologize to you guys. I don't know what's been going on. But lately, shit is just not fucking cooperating. And it's crazy because I've been in here a whole hour testing and tuning and the whole 9 yards. So. All right. Don't do this. All right, so again, thank you guys for hanging in there with me, man. But I don't know what the hell is going on because this is really crazy. I'm really disgusted with this shit right now. I got to figure this shit out. Let me turn this on. Read the comment. All right, so we're about 30 minutes behind schedule. But anyway, so, okay. I'm going to let her introduce herself again, and we're going to go from there. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Tiffany, also known as Solo, the president of Men's Choice Social Club out of Oakland, California. I'm also the secretary to the Northern California Bay Area Bikers Association, and I've been here a long, long time.
So you are in the social?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Yeah, so how long have you been in Men's Choice?
I've been in my club 35 years.
Y'all gonna have to work with us. We're working back and forth with this one mic because I can't get my other mics to actually work. So you guys can hear it. So you've been in your club 35 years. Your club is Men's Choice. How long have you been in the Bay?
I've been in the Bay Area since I was 7 years old, coming out of San Francisco.
So a lot of people, when we say the Bay, what all encompasses the Bay?
For the Bay is everything Vallejo on down to the back to Oakland.
Oakland, Vallejo.
And then I got to throw in San Jose too, because that's part of us too. So anywhere, that region right there.
That's probably what, like 7, 8 different little cities? But yeah.
You say Vallejo, Richmond, you say Oakland, say San Jose, we got San Francisco. I did say San Francisco. Yeah, so about, yeah. Yeah.
So we're here today to discuss the Bay Area Bike Set. How long have you been a member of that?
For the 35 years that I've been in my club. I started out young.
So you went straight into your club and into the association?
I actually went straight from being in a junior club and of the lady Tramps, and then from there I became a junior member of Men's Choice. And at this point in time, because I wasn't 21 yet, but we all know that we had our vests on, we got to get in the club and everything. And so in the 90s, 1990, when we fully became Men's Choice Social Club, and this is what we were doing, in 1991, I say 91, I got through in as a assistant business manager for our club, and I had to go to president meeting and take the minutes to bring my information back to our club to make sure that we had accurate things from the association.
How old were you then?
20.
22. You've been keeping the notes. You've been keeping the notes for your club and keeping it.
Yes.
And basically started off just as a secretary as a representative for your club.
Yes.
Okay. And when did you actually become a member of the Bay Area?
For the Bay Area Association, I became an assistant secretary in 1993. And at that time, I was 22.
After you got in. So let's talk about what was Bay Area. What was, why was it birthed, and what was the meaning and purpose?
From my history and my knowledge, from what I've gotten from the elders, this organization was created so that it would keep peace, harmony within the motorcycle organization, within the set, just a total overall within our region with the bikers that were in clubs at that time. And also this was created too, so therefore it wouldn't be one man on it or one club on it. It's a unit of people on it.
But who actually initiated? Did one person or one club initiate all together?
It was a group effort
So
from older clubs at the time who were not only men clubs, MCs, but they were also multi-generated. So they were multi-gendered. Let me get it right. So they were men and women, but they were MC clubs. Period. At the time, no social clubs were existing.
So did something happen that they say, "Hey, we need to put together this coalition"?
Well, yes, something did happen. Two different clubs had a party on the same day, and in that, it almost became an altercation. To avoid that altercation, they said, "Hey, we're gonna party at your party, and we're gonna leave this party, and we're gonna go over across the water, and we're gonna party at your party."
So this anniversary date shit been going on for a long time.
Many years.
Beef over anniversary.
Beef over anniversary dates, and that date that in question was President's Day. So normally,
Club presidents?
well, no, you know how we have President's Day for the United States. Okay, well, President's Day also would be, recognizing your president and your vice president of your club. So anyone can have a dance on that date at some point in time, and this is just from my historians giving me this information. Until at some point, one club took that date and everybody said, okay, hey, we're gonna just go party with this one club. So it just wouldn't be all over the place. That's when everybody decided to say, hey, we're gonna come together as one coalition, be one unit. So it won't be no back and forth and nobody stepping on it.
So because of that date clashing, that's when you guys decided to start the Bay Area. So, and at that time, who was on this? What were the big name clubs that you had? What was the criteria to be part of that council?
Well, to be a part of that council, from my historians and what they told me, is mostly that you would have to have been in a club. So you can come over here and be a part of this organization. So therefore, they can place you in, so you can kind of like brotherhood with the brothers that were already in existence, or sisterhood with the sisters who were in MC clubs at the time in that era.
But so at that time, it was just all of the clubs that were actually
active at the time. So from my understanding, it was like 13 to 15 clubs or so.
And they had a date, they had a problem with anniversary?
Well, they didn't have really problems with anniversary dates. It just was President's Day weekend was the clash, because any club, historical wise, any club can have something on that day. Okay. So, but to avoid that ever coming to a head like that again.
I would imagine with 13 or 14 clubs,
they ironed it out.
52 weeks in a year, though, is when calendar at that time was wide open. I can imagine the calendar is fucked up now, but I'm just saying back then, I can imagine the calendar was wide open.
Yeah, it was. And so that's why it was able to be a good balance then. Okay. So nobody stepped on nobody.
So when they formed this council, when they formed the Bay Area Association, was there ever any like bylaws or rules put in place as to what you can do, what you can't do, who can and who can't?
Yes, it was. Okay. And the bylaws that were put in place at that time in that era fit that time and that era.
Yeah.
And that's foundationally what kept them all in a respectful manner without disrespecting clubs. Because at this point, if you disrespected the club, you had a fine to pay. Now the fine went from 100 to 300, just within current time.
Now, I can imagine back then, was there a lot of rules back then?
There were a lot of rules. They were light rules, but everybody had a mutual understanding. So there were written rules, but yet they were verbal. It was always people know the unwritten rules. Yeah. And with any of those rules, written or unwritten, each club had a mutual understanding on whatever the rule was. But most of the old heads definitely kept you in check, kept you in line, because you already knew.
So was it more back then? Was it more of a father figure or a family structure back then compared to now?
Yes. Yes, it was definitely.
So the elders did run. They ran the shit.
They did good.
Yeah.
I kudos to them, and I clap for them all. Men and women.
So when you joined the Bay Area Bikers Association, were women allowed? Yes. Let's get this out there. This has always been a big myth. I'm gonna see if you
Okay.
have women been allowed to form motorcycle clubs back when you 30-something years ago? Were there female clubs and female motorcycle clubs back then?
Yes, there was.
There was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a few. Yes.
So did they have to spell theirs out, motorcycle club, or could they rock it like the?
Well, most of the women had MC on their back, and I didn't see motorcycle club right across the back.
Ta-da. Anyway. I wanted to, that's been a big old thing. Asking that question because they go crazy about that.
But see, in y'all region, however, like in historical time, yes, I do believe that everything was kind of the same all the way across the board throughout the United States.
Okay.
But what worked for here kind of didn't work for that region that way. So different rules, even though we all still rock with the same damn unwritten rules and written rules,
Yeah.
it's still, we had implied some rules that kind of made us differ.
Well, that's one of the problems I got now is that they're taking the unwritten rules and rewriting them to make them fit the profit of them.
And
you understand what I'm saying?
yes, I
so
definitely
that's one of the problems I got. Well, that's one of the things I challenge a lot here is you take a rule that that was basically made for a whole, and then you make it just to benefit you.
Or you take an unwritten rule and write it however you see fit to make it. Yeah, you're right. To make it work for you.
Yeah, to make it work for you.
It's not working.
Yeah.
Because when some of our historians are gone, long gone, and those historians that are still here to spread the word or to help torch the people so they can know how to rock out here.
Yeah.
They haven't been respecting some of the elders that are still here foundationally that they can go to. Like, for instance, if you were going to get in a club or something, and you would say, hey, Madam Secretary, such and such, and I would say, well, hey, Sil, let me send you over to an elder club, and I would direct you to go to that elder club. Now, I wouldn't direct you to go to the young person or somebody who just started a year ago in the club. I would send you to one of the old heads who are still like active within the club. Or even if they're not active, I've acclimated enough friendships and relationships with people to where I can send you to somebody's house because they retired. Like, hey, I'm about to send Big Cell over because you want a history lesson.
Okay.
So you can know how to.
So back then it was really, you really cared about learning the history of what this whole shit was about.
When I sat down at 22, I definitely have to give a mad shout out to Sheila Baker because she was one of my historian OG and Other Side of Darkness, Miss Harper.
That's Bill Baker, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have to give it to them because, and Miss Ann, Safari Rider MC.
Okay.
I have to give it to those ladies because those were one of the people who kind of like, hey, Miss Ann needs some help, so you can take this lesson.
I can imagine, and
at 22.
I can imagine all of the shit that you've seen and know.
And heard.
And heard.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Lessons.
The whole 9 yards.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you. So effectively, back then, did the Bay Area Council make a big difference in the Bay?
Bay Area Council made a big difference in the Bay and also within individual people. That means it helped grow some men from boys to men.
Okay.
It helped grow some women from little girls to women. It affected a lot of different communities, a lot of different ways and stuff like that. So yes, in my time frame, I could definitely.
So from 22 years old, you're in there and I'm seeing shit, hearing shit, trying to document shit. What was that like?
So it was really, I can say it was really hard in the beginning. It was challenging because I was young and I wanted to go hang with my young friends who I wanted to came in the club with. So, and
so they just dropped this responsibility on you.
My founder and president of Men's Choice Social Club, Gloria Miller, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
But she was like, hey, I know you can hang with your friends, but I'm finna pull you out of this because now you're gonna sit in this circle right here.
Okay.
And this is what you're gonna do. Okay. And at that point, it was like, okay. And then most of the old heads, they were like, hey, okay, you want this your etiquette for sitting in that seat. See, because just sitting there, it ain't a joke. Like you really got to focus. You really got to pay attention. But my first time that I ever had read my minutes inside of the meeting, is because our secretary we had at the time, the minutes that she had read was from the month, like a couple months prior to. But I had made it a point to say, "Hey, Madam Secretary," and so Phil Becker said, "Well, you got your minutes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I write for my club. I'm the business manager." So okay, well, come up here and read them. So I said, "Okay,"
Yeah.
you know,
Legendary Phil Baker. Yeah.
I said, "Okay," and then I went up there and read it, and then
Were those guys intimidating back then? Was it intimidating to be around all those guys?
yes, it was. Oh my God. Because I was the youngest. Like, so back then, when clubs were existing, when I first got in my club, there wasn't really that many young people in the clubs.
Okay.
Everybody was kind of older. So, just being that young around older people, I had to grow up.
Yeah.
And then to sit over here with these people, that was a different shoe I had on.
Okay.
It was on this side of the table.
Yeah.
Is something else. Opposed to sitting over there on
See,
that side.
when you're on that
table.
side, that's just y'all business. But when you're on this side, it's everybody business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at 22, I had to learn that, and
Yeah.
I had to pick that up. And then from being assistant secretary in September of 2010, Miss Ann had passed away, our secretary. And from there, I was in that same year, I was nominated to be secretary because I had already had so much under my belt from her. And that's where.
So was it ever an issue with females being involved in the Bay Area Association?
Well, I don't know. I can't really say that because saying that it was an issue for the women. Yes, women had to go through some things because my elders have told me that. And Other Side of Darkness, Miss Hardware, she always had said, women didn't have it easy, but we fought our fight, and she fought a good fight with the other women, within her era and time, and made sure that the men knew that, hey, we here. We fought to be here. We following your rules, doing what you say for us to do, and we're not going anywhere. But I flip side to that too, because some of the clubs back then were co-ed with men and women, and the women were MC. There was no SCs or
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it wasn't none. It was there where they were MC, and then there's a few clubs where women have branched off from those co-ed clubs and became an MC club,
okay.
And from there, the women still followed, and and we still do what we're supposed to do, following under the men.
So, to your knowledge, when did SC?
To my knowledge, I want to say in the 70s too. At some point in time in the 70s, back in that era, because
But when you first started, it wasn't no SC.
No, when I first started, it was SC.
It was, okay.
Yeah. When I first started in the 90s, it was SC, because that's when we started all this men's choice social club. Well, branched off from the Lady Tramps.
Okay.
Yeah.
SC. So it was SC. So you think they came around in the 70s. Now, were the SCs heavily affiliated with the MCs like they are now back then?
Yes.
They were.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They were totally intermingled.
Still right now to this day. Yeah. Intermingled. In the mingle, in the twines, in the what you call it, situationships, all that. In the mix of it all. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So let's get to the point to where taking all of these minutes and writing down these rules and regulations. Did you ever disagree with anything that was voted on, or any rule that was ever put in place? Did you kind of feel first off, you were the youngest in the building, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So being younger, hearing these
of the many youngest in the building, yes.
Hearing these OGs make these kind of rules and regulations, and you're watching the times change. Did you ever
it's a few rules I did have a disagreement. Well, as far as, because now I'm not only in the room speaking, writing as a secretary, but also I have to speak up for my club too, because we sit on this roster as well.
Okay.
And so it's a few rules that we placed in place that I definitely would have questioned, and then it's a few rules that probably I would have been like, hey, we need to probably put this in there too, so it can, help protect the organization as a whole.
So do you think the Bay Area Association, you think if you had to rate it back then from 1 to like give it a rating as to how helpful it was or how needed it was?
It was a 10. I would say it was a 20. From the era of me starting with the people who I started with and the clubs and my mentors and the older OGs or just my friends or whatever, we were at 100, like 1,000,000.
Wow.
like a million. I mean, it was tight knit, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't nobody just come in and just, because we, at that time and era, the people who were surrounded within that circle, if you were outside that circle and you tried to come in that circle and you thought you was coming in with bull, or, you know, that circle knew how to boo you out.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah.
Close the tighter.
Okay.
Now it's just
it's a free fall. So do you notice the change in the quality of the MC sets now or the club now compared to then?
Yes. I spoke this a long time ago in a meeting one time. We were at the Goodfellas Clubhouse, okay. And a question was asked, how do people, you know, come from one club to get into another club? And my answer to that, I waited to see what everybody was going to say, the feedback. And then I said, you know, back in the day, you used to be able to just patch over from your club to the next club as long as you call the club who you're patching over from and say, hey, as long as this person is still in good standards, we're okay. But nowadays, people don't pay attention to that. They really don't care or something. And it's like anybody's in there and now it's just all free for all, just anything happening. Like nobody, my thing to it is if you don't take control over things that is getting out of control at the time that it happened, and once it get out of control, sometimes it's hard to bring it back, to get the control over it. You know? Gotta watch out for that.
Can you guys hear us? Can everybody hear us? Everybody? Oh, can you guys hear? Trying to get some volume up.
I hope y'all can hear us because we've been having a good time up in here.
That's my phone.
Okay.
Whole lot of boy, you motherfuckers is vicious, boy, y'all. Whole lot of crazy shit.
Let's take some questions.
Yeah. So the difference that the Bay Area bike set made then to what it is now. Let's talk about it. Where we at now? First of all, is the Bay Area Association still in effect?
Yes, it is.
Still in effect.
Yes, it is.
What is the purpose of it now? Is it still the same agenda?
Well, the purpose of it is still has always been the same agenda, is to keep this family, meaning the Bay Area Bikers Association, and not only just this association, but any other associations that have formed thus then after this has ever started.
But this was the first one formed in the Bay.
This is the first one was formed ever in the Bay.
Okay. So anything after this is
off. Yeah, I wouldn't even say that because a lot of people who try to come into the association at some points in time, because I got my roll call book, I brought my history book. Okay. But at some point in time, they came in and they said, hey, we want to be a part of the association. If they had already been out there as a club and generating party movements and stuff like that, in our bylaws, when you come to be a part of the Bay Area Bikers Association, you sit on our roll call for a 2 span before you're even allowed to get a date on our calendar.
But I don't have a problem with that. I think
people have a problem with that.
I think every club should have to wait 5 years.
But
that's just my personal.
With a 2-year wait period, in that 2-year time frame, you couldn't have anything. You couldn't throw a function.
Yeah, but they give you time to get to know and to represent, and to get to that. They give you time to learn your history, get to know people. You get your face out there, the whole 9 yards.
But those clubs that were already came out, had their coming out party. They got Vests this week, had a coming out party next week, and then had their first annual the week after that. Yeah. You know, then you didn't meet the criteria for this organization because already within our rule book, it said this. Yeah. So, you know, and it was a respectable thing because still Phil Becker would tell them, you know, hey, even though you're out here and you generating, doing your own thing, guess what? Go over there to my secretary at the end of the table and get this bylaw from her so you can know at least how you can operate out here. Because one thing for certain and 2 things is for sure is this bylaw only tells you how to move out here on this set. Your bylaw in your club says something different from this. But if you're going to take this right here and use this as a guide so you can know your etiquette out here, then...
Well, I mean, it's the same thing too. Just like your parents, you got rules in the house and you got rules when you go outside the house. When you go out there, Now, when you take your ass outside, you act accordingly. You feel what I'm saying?
And don't bring that
And
shit back in the house.
don't bring
You
that
come
shit back in
here.
the house. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's the same thing. So with I'm trying to be. I don't want to get too crazy, but
Yeah, because then they're gonna be
yeah. But with having all of this different knowledge, having and like you say, you got a hell of a notebook.
And this just one notebook that I brought with me because I didn't want to travel because I couldn't go home. I left LA.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the Rare Breed weekend. I had a ball, but I left LA Sunday.
There it is. There you heard it yourself.
Yeah.
Man.
And I flew to Atlanta and I told Sil, I'm gonna come sit on your couch. You ain't gotta put me on the internet, the laptop. I'm gonna come sit right here in here so you can have a live and effect. Yeah.
So let me get this too. Shout out to the yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we're here today. We're talking about the Bay Area Association. You've already said that when it was originally formed, why it was formed, how it was formed, and formed with, and who it was formed for. Let's get to the point now to where clubs are coming and not fitting the criteria, and now they're doing their own thing. So, with the Bay Area Association, is it like some of the other associations that I've heard of, where if you're not a part of the association, these clubs can't, the associated clubs can't function with those other clubs? Is that one of you guys' rules?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Because one thing's for certain and two things for sure is our chairman said he can't control what you're doing. But
okay.
And if you gonna mingle with the people, that's what you're gonna do. But stop trying to separate us.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem now. The separation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This was for a whole to keep us family. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you don't like your brother over there in that club over there, guess what? That's still your brother. Because if anything happened in any of these functions, we gonna band together.
Okay.
And we gonna get it handled.
Yeah.
As a family.
Yeah.
And then we gonna go back to, man, I don't like the motherfucker over there. I don't like her over there. You know? Yeah.
Well, so it's basically when we functioning, we functioning.
Yes.
And when we not, we not.
We not.
Yeah. So with having that understanding, is there dues that have to be paid to the association?
Yes, we pay an annual fee of $100 a year.
And what is that for?
And that's for anything that we have to take care of within our organization. So picnic, camping trip, whatever the case.
So you guys actually have events too for the organization, for the association on the whole.
In August, we have the Bay Area Bikers Association's dance.
Okay.
Dance. So it's all of us as a unit having one party.
Okay.
And we invite any and everybody.
Wow. So the dues that you guys take up, and that's per club annually, $100 annually.
Yes.
Is there a special patch that they wear, or you guys wear, or they have, or?
Yes, we have the Bay Area Bikers Association patch. On this vest, I don't have it on this vest. This is on my other vest. But yes, we have the Bay Area Bikers Association patch. Shout out to Lee, the president of the Buzzards, one of the founders of the Buzzards, MC out of San Francisco. That gentleman came to president meeting and said, hey, you know how everybody has their club patch, you know, signifies this, you supporter. He said, you know, we should have one for our association too. And so he said, okay, Mr. Becker said, okay, well, get that together and bring it back to the meeting. And so he came the next following month to the meeting, and he had a drew up, and he said, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to go get a prototype made. And he said, okay. And then the next meeting came, and then he brought in a prototype, and he said, pass it around. And he said, you know, this will be for us. And then what he does with the money from that is he generates more patches back to that. But he himself is the creator of that.
So so does the association have a president, a vice president?
We have a chairman and a vice chairman.
Chairman and vice chairman.
Yeah, chair and a vice chair.
And how is that voted on, or is that voted on amongst all the clubs?
Well, at one point in time, it used to be a appointed seat.
Appointed by who?
Appointed by the elders from the room.
Okay.
So from the table, let's say elders from the table. And if they came and said, hey, Sil, we want to appoint you something, but they would come into the room, into the meeting, and said, hey, we would like to appoint this gentleman here. And at that point, somebody would say, well, I second that motion, third, and then they would go into a vote.
Okay.
But in current times,
so the elders would pick their man. They were presented to the
room,
other presidents and
the president's meeting. They were present that to president's meeting.
Okay.
And in that meeting, it would be first, second, third motions taken. Okay, then it would take to a vote. But current times, that appointing was a motion to the floor to be taken away, and the room voted that it would be taken away. So the seat at the table is no longer appointed. It is a voted on seat.
From the very beginning.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Can anybody walk in there? You have to have so many years on the association, or can anybody that's a part of the association say, I want to be president?
Well, in current times, people have been allowed to. Now, that would have been one of those written rules that you unwrite and you read it, you wrote it down in black and white, so where it would give you a cap off on how long you have to have been serving within your club.
Okay.
In order to be a situation, you know. So yeah.
Well, I imagine that's so this is me. Let me just say this. I've heard you speak elders, I've heard you speak, the OGs and the elders, the whole 9 yards. Let me just say this. In my personal opinion, I'm stating my personal opinion.
Okay.
Nobody should be allowed to be a chair or a vice chair if their club is not originated from the Bay.
Or my thing is, if you're not even a member within, an officer club.
Okay, yeah, that's a given. That's a given.
I think that should be
only officers of clubs that are.
And then within your club, if you've been an officer within your club, I still think that it should be a stipulation on how long you've been an officer.
Okay.
So therefore, it would eliminate a lot.
And let me add this: you should be a motherfucker that's active in the motorcycle community. Yeah, because you get a bunch of motherfuckers who've been sitting on the.
Flip the coin on that too. Now, hold on, Sil. Let's flip the coin on that too.
I'm just saying,
you could be active within your community. You could be active within your club, but then you also could be active with how should I say, about with wrong intent. Sometimes you get that too.
No. So what I mean by active is you actually on the set. You ain't off the set, but then only come around to vote. You only come around when it's time to vote.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because that's to me. So those that are currently motorcycling, to me, are the only people that should be able or allowed to govern or make rules for motorcycling.
I should say, if you're active, not only on a motorcycle set, but you got to be active in the club.
Yeah, well, but if you're not active, you can't be on the set and not be active with your club.
No, it's always happening.
You can't be active on the set and not be active with your club.
And it's happening, Sal. They active on the set, and some ain't even active with their club.
Okay, but she didn't say.
That's for the people in the back to hear now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in your opinion today, if you had to redo this whole thing, you had to restructure the Bay Area Bikers Association, what would be the first thing?
Definitely, if I had to restructure, it would start with the foundation table, if it had to. Because
what is that foundation?
Meaning chair, vice chair. If you wanted me to go secretary, treasurer, business manager, we never had one, but a business manager. So that's something that current times we have been offered.
Okay.
I would say that it would be restructured to the people, like you say, been sitting in their club or active in their club, sitting as an officer within their club. Because how could you come to a table to lead, not even?
So, but what about the G's who have the knowledge? Because see, this is the thing too. Because I say this because I'm not in the club, but I don't think there's nobody that can out motorcycle. I don't think there's nobody that respect the culture, or I don't think there's nobody that's more passionate about motorcycling than me. And that's just me. Now if you want to challenge it, it's not a a real. I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying fuck you. I'm just telling you where I'm at. But me being independent and not being affiliated or associated with an MC, a lot of people have a problem with that.
Because you're the politician.
Because I'm the politician with no vest.
That's what I call that.
That's what they call that?
Well, that's what I call that because, people like that. But it's okay, though, because even though you politic with no vest on, your history, your facts, your knowledge, and your truth of this is what keeps you where you at with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? With or without a vest on.
Yeah.
But I do say vest up. You're gonna talk this shit with us people that wear vests, but definitely, politicians with no vests.
Yeah.
They definitely have a lot to say. Now, if you do catch one of those politicians who don't know what they talking about, yes, you able to out motorcycle at them.
Yeah.
Because nigga, what you really talking about?
Period.
Right. Or if you don't have a vest on and you politicking with no vest on, and you politicking with somebody who just got in the club yesterday, but you've been and did, what is he really talking about?
Yeah, can't talk to me.
Yeah.
You have no conversation.
So my thing is right now, current times, I'm not arguing with no man in no man club. If you ain't been in your club 30 plus like me, I'm not arguing with no woman in no woman's social club, no woman MC club. If you ain't been in your club, the length of time that I've been in the club. And then also when it comes to the board stuff, like I'm not arguing or going back and forth with nobody who ain't been in this room, the 30 plus that I've been in this room. And for the 30 that I've been sitting at this table, I'm not going back and forth with you. And I can't.
My man Hero says the Bay had a problem on President's Weekend because the Dragons drew all of the bikers in town, and every club wanted to have a party on President's Day or on President's Day.
Okay, so correct, but back in the time, any club can have a dance on President's Day. Now you can ask Lester as the president of the Invaders and founder of the Invaders MC. Okay, and President's Weekend would go to anybody who had it, but that's how the two clubs ended up clashing with each other. Because
but could it be 5 parties on President's Day?
Because you're honoring your president.
So yeah. So we just went club hop then.
We just went club. Yeah, they were in that era. They were just club hop. They were club hop.
Go over here and dance. Come over here and dance. Go over there.
Because somebody might have started as a after work. It's a happy hour, and then another one said, "Okay, we're gonna have a beer bus in the evening time," and another, so on and so forth. And that's how you would patronize each club.
So how was it a clash then?
Well, the clash came when the one club had a party, and then another club had a party. The club had a party in San Francisco. And then a club had a party in the Bay Area in Oakland. But thank God it was able to come into a peaceful situation, because when the one club came over to talk to the other club about this, they were able to party with them.
So I'm lost, because you're saying that on President's Day, all of the presidents can have a party. So if anybody can have a party, why would there be a clash?
Because I guess that one club felt that they were more dominant, and this is us, and we're going to take it. So after that incident, that's when the whole situation came together. Like, hey, we can't have that because, we don't want to hurt nobody. Because if we're going to be out here together, we don't want to hurt.
But if it's President's Day
and somebody didn't get the memo, they didn't like that.
Y'all ain't right.
They didn't like it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. They had a problem with it. They went, thought about it, and then it ended up being a peaceful thing. Because in the end, they both partied with each other. At the end of the day, at the end of the rainbow, you partied with them, and then they went and partied with you. And everybody was happy. And then after that, it was like, okay, we ain't going to let this happen no more. Yeah. So let's
get it together.
Yeah. And they said it took.
All right, so I'm finna get into this ad. We finna get into some serious shit now. So we finna ask, we done warmed y'all up. Y'all done got everybody on. Now it's time to get to the business.
First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get respect.
Yo, man, it's your boy Big Sarge from Florida Chapter Soul Brothers, man. Y'all know how I get down. I'm always listening to my man Big Sale from FHO Podcast Radio. He keep it motorcycle.
It's your boy,
Big Cell, FHO's HNIC, Mr. Him Be Everywhere.
Lesson 2. Gently place the balls into the mouth and hum.
Kiss my entire ass.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, man, we back, man. So listen, now let's get into it. You knowing where all the bodies are buried, you knowing where all of the secrets that have been said from some of our G's gone past and the whole 9 yards.
Still here.
What the fuck is going on now?
Well,
Get close to the mic, now. Don't
oh
run.
my God.
Matter of fact,
They get close to the mic.
We're gonna do something.
Okay.
I need to hear all of it. Ain't play no game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that. Grab that. Hold
All
that.
right.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, there you go.
I'm on.
Now, what the fuck happened? What the fuck?
What's going on in the bag?
Well, truthfully, nothing's going on in the Bay. We still generate as a family. You know, I can't say nothing bad about my city, my town, or my state. Okay. But on some motorcycle stuff, we got a lot going on, you know. Some of the stuff I can't speak on, because it's just in a logistic way. Legally, I can't speak on certain things, but I can touch a few points, a few people hurt.
And I'm asking you the question. They don't have to hear me, but I'm asking you the question. What has been the biggest shift from then to now?
The biggest shift is the newer generation of people coming in who did not get the lesson or who didn't get torched to have what I have, and that's what's been the biggest problem is that, hey, she have too much. She know too much. At the end of the day, for some odd reason within current times, they think women are trying to take over. No, we're not here for that. I'm not here for that for sure. I'm just here to give you history and fact. That's it, and from my era of time, since I've been in my club and since I've sat at this table, the things that what I've learned or, what has been brought to the table or what I've seen within my transition in the time that I've been here. Mm-hmm. Spit it out, Sal. Spit it out.
I need that box right there. That box right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got all this shit. I got too much shit.
Okay, Sal. Come on. Hey, y'all. All paying attention and tuning in and everything, those who didn't get to tune in on Sales channel and stuff. You're right here on my live. Make sure you tell a friend and spread it to a friend, okay? Uh-oh, feedback.
Yeah, we're gonna get it together.
All right, get it together.
We're gonna get it together. 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2. Yes,
1, 2. What the hell going on my damn phone? Why I can't hear nothing?
Because it's being retarded. They not like us. They not like us.
Turn up your volume. I am doing it.
I think that open gonna be your last stop, nigga.
Hold on.
Hey.
1, 2. Can y'all hear us? Yeah.
Solo in the building. You see this big old buck?
Yeah, we're gonna get into it too, goddamn.
It's only one of many. One of many. Oh wow.
Why is it?
My live is living.
It better be. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are we good? I think I got. Now speak. Say something.
Hey, yeah. Hey, my live. Make sure you tell a friend, spread it.
Can y'all? Hey, can y'all hear us? Can y'all hear us? Matter of fact, what's up?
Are they hearing us?
Yeah, they hearing
Is my
us.
people hearing us?
Yeah,
Okay.
they can hear. I'm telling you, because I'm. Hold on, I'm trying to see why.
Okay. Tell them, be sure to share, like, subscribe to his channel, okay? FHO podcast. Be sure to share the live, y'all, so everybody can click in, so everybody can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we good.
All right.
All right, so yeah, I got it figured. We on control.
We on now.
Yeah, we on.
Yeah.
All right, so
they can't stop what God put together.
No. And I just had to figure it out. Like I said, when this stuff be going on, I'll be coming in, but everything be working, and then soon we sit down and go live, the shit just trip out. So now
I can wonder why.
I imagine that. So my question to you is, going from then to now, and seeing all of the fuckery that is going on now, especially with the younger generation not really caring about history. Have you noticed that they don't care about the history? They don't care about how it used to be. They only want to do it the way they want to do it now. How does that affect the bike set or the Bay Area?
It definitely affects it in a way to where it sometimes it makes it bad, because if you don't get that, it's just like when you go outside and your parents teaching you a certain way to be outside, like you say, a certain etiquette. So when you get out the door, you'll know how to act.
Yeah.
It's like that. They don't want to take that. I'm going outside and I'm doing that. I ain't coming in when the street lights go out because I don't got to, but you do got to, because you're going to get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
But see, the only difference here is we can't whoop nobody there because ain't nobody no kids. We grown people out here, okay?
Right.
And so I don't want to say, okay, no, just go to a different question because I don't want to say that. Yeah, I see.
Just go to a different question?
Yeah, go to a different question because
no, I mean, but
I get a little loose with it.
Can we, is there a way to corral everybody? So let me ask you, would you rather go back to how it used to be, or would you rather kind of incorporate old and new now?
I would rather, because times have changed, so you kind of got to go with the times.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of keep up with the generational what's going on. So I would say the old, as far as our foundation goes, because you got to keep a foundation to keep the shit straight.
Yeah.
And then I would incorporate some of the young within it too. So because they drum to a different beat, you know, they listen to the radio. We still jump beating on drums, you know.
Okay.
So they've evolved. So we want to be able to make them feel welcome within to the situation, but yet you still have to follow these foundational rules, whether they written or unwritten.
Well, if they see, this is the thing about unwritten rules. Okay, and that's what I tell everybody. It has to make sense. An unwritten rule has to make sense. We write the rules down that are maybe a little bit complex, but like your mama say, common sense. Some of this shit is common sense. You feel what I'm saying? And some of the shit is just hereditary given to you for you to understand that, listen, bro, you can't just go out here and say fuck somebody club without them being offended. You feel what I'm saying? Now,
or retaliating at this point.
Retaliating. And because now when you said the retaliation shit anyway. And to know when you're in violation, because I'm gonna tell you, what I've learned is that a lot of the bikers today, the bikers and the associates of the bikers, they don't understand some of the rules today. And for example, I had a confrontation one time where a female, a female who was invited to the party or whatever, her and her homegirl, they were walking through the bikes and she took somebody's helmet and put it on. And when she put the helmet on, the girlfriend of the biker, bitch, what are you doing? And boom. But she didn't know that you don't just walk up to nobody's bike and, you know, put their helmet on and then sell him his bike to take a picture.
Oh, so brother weekend, a young lady was trying to twerk on the bike, and I just went over there because I could tell she don't know. So I grabbed her by her arm and said, hey, you know, you ain't supposed to, don't even do that. Like, you don't even know these people. Like, don't. And she was like, you know what? Thank you for telling me, because I didn't know, you know, me and my friends, it's our first time being here. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, there's definitely rules to it. So
so that's what I'm saying. So that's the part where when you say the generational the gap. That's those, and these are simple things we just talking about. But there are some other major violations that are going on that they have no clue that they're violating. You feel what I'm saying? So, where would you start? If again, I'm putting you in total control. You have been given the key, and you have been given the boo. Where would you start? Let's get this shit back together. What do we got to do?
Rules, regulations, bylaws, terms, conditions.
Rules, regulations, bylaws, terms, and conditions. That's what we got to start.
That's foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, in historical time, and it's right here written in the book, because when I say I write everything, normally I would be writing right now what we're talking about because I like to keep up with things, but I know I can go back and watch this. And so because I write everything, I do tell people, like, if you don't want certain things said, or you don't want me to write it, don't say it. But you have to. This is what we come in this room for, so we can all speak about some things and get it out, so you can have a better understanding with your people. But written in this book, somebody has said, the rules and the bylaws that we have is weak.
What for the association?
Hear me out. Is weak. And that shit should have went out with the old people who wrote it. Now, for me, that was a sign of ultimate disrespect, because how dare you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, those rules were written in the era of time for those people.
And they allowed you to exist now.
And that's what helped you get to where you are.
Yeah.
But to be unhumbling for that, it was baffling for me.
So what he should have said was, hey, respect what the OGs put together, but maybe it's time to update them or to revisit them, or
and at that point in time, when since thus then, what I'm saying, I've been a real advocate of let's redo the rules, regulations, bylaws, terms, conditions, so we can protect this table, for future people, for the people who get torched on later on down the line, so they can already know, hey, coming in the door, this is what you can't do, this is what you can do, this is how it should be, this is the way it's gonna be. Yeah. But a lot of people want to block that because it's so loose, it just allows them to do whatever.
So speak on it. What do you want to tell the Bay Area? What do you want to say?
I definitely want to tell my Bay Area brothers and sisters that I mad love y'all. Like, no matter what organization you come from, and a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, know this, because I have accumulated a lot of brothers from other mothers and sisters as well. So I want to say to my people that I need us to get back to where the circle was the circle. Anybody who came outside from that circle to come in that circle to conquer and divide from within.
Yeah,
they got
discovered and put out.
Yeah, I need you to dig them, pick them out like fleas off a dog or bad weeds in the grass. Because my mentor told me, always keep your grass cut low so you can see the snakes are coming.
Yeah.
Because anytime you let it grow knee high, you ain't gonna be able to see what's gonna leap out at you. Now, this grass then grew a couple of times, and I done tried to mow it down, but shit, I can't mow this by myself because this field is big,
So I know I'm finna get criticized for saying this.
What happened?
One of my favorite people of all times in the Bay Area.
All times is
T-Cone.
I love T-Cone. Now I'm gonna say, says the politician with no vest, but with a vest now.
Listen.
I'm gonna give T-Cone his flowers too. You know what I'm saying?
I tell T-Cone all the time.
I hope you're listening, T-Cone.
Besides me, I think he is the second most hated person on the bike scene. And I'm gonna say, and the reason why I say that, is because that dude is a real dude. He's solid. He'd have been high, low, revamped, came back. And when it comes to the belief of brotherhood.
I see your head, Trace.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I see her head right there.
I got the camera up there.
Oh,
when it comes to
head.
you good.
You good.
Yeah, when it comes to the belief in brotherhood, I think that's where he gets in trouble at. because I believe T. Cone believes truly in brotherhood, and when that's not being exacted, that's where he gets in trouble.
Well, yeah, because like you say, he's had his ups and he's had his downs, and truthfully, I can only outside looking in. I speak for what I see, but as far as to speak on him, he would have to come to speak for himself.
Yeah.
And this is why I came and sat on the couch so I could speak for myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure the connection was connected.
Oh, we good. and now I got to give props. There's a couple of people I got to give props to, but I'm giving props today. I love coming to the Bay. I love it. I love the hospitality. I made a statement one time that cats used to mean mug you. Now they speak to you the whole 9 yards. But I want to say this too. You guys have an ambassador, my boy Emo. Anytime anybody comes to the Bay, he is there to escort them, take them to the historic sites. I mean, he does
a phenomenal job.
Excellent. I'm talking about not just for the bike culture, but for the culture of Oakland, the Bay. Big Manny used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Big Manny was he was another ambassador.
Rest in peace.
I think Big Manny didn't pass the torch to Emo as far as that go.
And that's crazy. You say, like, for instance, historically, what people don't know, the venue that we just was at for the Rare Breed weekend, that is where Manny did a wheelie down the block. First time ever in LA, did a wheelie down the block. And Booby Hooker, East Bay Dragons, he say, "Oh man, I done did shit too." And he had his girl on the back, he had Vade on the back, and at the time, and he went and did a wheelie down there. Cause he first man throw a wheelie with a woman on the back. Yeah, got it. So and I was just looking at that street, and people don't even know historically this is where that happened. Right here on the side street, right there. They went straight down and did a wheelie. He did that wheelie, and so it's just crazy.
But the Bay, for me, I love coming to the Bay. The Bay, it's just some cool shit. Now, I spoke on this too one time. The streets is getting horrible. Y'all done ran out of cement or concrete.
Oh, you talking about the potholes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Other than that, hands
but that last little mayor we had, a little Asian lady, what
she
I'm saying?
Taking money back home to China.
No, she ain't taking it to China. She that black man she was sleeping with. The hell? Allegedly. Let me say it right.
So
allegedly,
I want to say this too. I want to say this to all the MC clubs that's in the Bay Area, LA, the West Coast. Bro, we love coming there. The electricity, the hype, the whole 9 yards is there. And we hope that never goes away. And I love the passion that you have. And I can imagine you being a woman who knows all the secrets. I know they throwing darts in your back.
My God, Sal. Jesus Christ. I couldn't even get in this room good and they was already throwing darts at my ass. What?
So listen to what I'm saying. But hear me out. You got to understand this. We're living in a time where the truth is not wanted. We're living in a time where just tell me a good story. Don't tell me the truth. Just tell me a good story and make me the star of the story. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you a story then. Shit. And it's the truth on the story on Big Sale's ass, okay? Let me turn this mic. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Big Sale is the reason that a lot of people from our region start coming to the Kings of the South.
Don't say that. Now you're gonna get me in trouble.
I ain't getting you in trouble because a lot of people that was when I was like, "Where y'all going? Who we going to the Kings of the South?" I'm like, "Shit, man, Big Sale said come down, we coming," and you laid the carpet out for everybody from the curb, from the where they came in at, from land to leave. Yeah. Okay, you would take care of that.
I appreciate that.
And so
I'll tell you where I learned that from now. From T. Cone and the Goodfellas. When we used to go to Oakland, when we used to go to Arizona and Oakland, I've been to the Fresno run, the halfway run. But anytime we saw them, they had the grill out. They was feed. You know what they used to look like? What they call that shit? The food line. When motherfuckers get
free lunch line.
Yeah, the free lunch line. That's how it used to be with the Goodfellas.
But see, that was for every club like that. Like before the Goodfellas was the Goodfellas. Before the Kings of Cali was the Kings of Cali. The Dragons would be that for, at that era of time.
Yeah.
You go to their club, they parking lot of whatever hotel they was, and they always had the grill out, was always feeding people because they, they are the club of clubs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they always made sure they host very well. Still to this day, they had a grill out in the backyard. If you come to the clubhouse, you're hungry, they're gonna go right across the street to the Food King and go get some stuff, charcoal, whatever, meat, whatever, and they're gonna go and throw it on here, and we're gonna eat out the back of the Dragons,
Let me say this too now. I doubt if he listens. I haven't seen this cat in a while.
Who?
But the coldest dressed Negro on a motorcycle.
Who?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Freight Train. Fredo from Good. Every time you saw that,
he was sharper than that.
I'm telling you, Fredo Freight Train, that nigga, boy. I told him, Helmet, them creases had to be so ironed and pressed, and then the stitches taken out because you can cut your hand on his pants and his. I'm talking about the shorts with the socks and shit. Freight Train, Fredo, they miss you, baby. The fashion ain't the same no more.
Oh my God!
But it was just good times. My OGs, I can tell you a story when I first went to eBay Dragons, when Boss Mike, Hero, Toby J, they surrounded me in the club. I'm like, just that nigga that be talking shit. I'm like, is everything good? And they call me coming out the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fellas, everything good? So I mean, but just the baby. So do you miss it? Do you miss the good old days? Or
I do miss I do.
Are you having more fun in today's time?
Well, I could say it's a balance. I miss the good old times, because like I say, it was more of a knit family thing, you know what I'm saying? Like it was less clubs, more support, because it was less clubs. Wasn't that many options to option around. Okay. And then current times, I still be lit. So, I'm everywhere. I'm from every state to state that I can run in. I'm in there, and it gives the younger generation turn up a fun. Okay. So if you still with the fun, having fun, because I ain't finna stop having no fun until I'm dead out here. Bury me with my vest, you know what I'm saying, and bury me with these books and take a copy of it for yourself so I can read while I'm dead, so I can keep shit on track for my spiritual world. Because I'm gonna come tap niggas on their shoulder while I'm dead, like, hey,
that's not motorcycle.
It's not motorcycle shit now, But no, for real though. But back then, the fun that we had then was for our generation of fun.
Yeah.
So now, current times, like we say, is the newer generation. So whatever their fun is, we're adapting to the fun. But it's really history repeating itself.
Yeah, just
it's the same. Just
a twist.
No, just with your kids now and your nieces and nephews.
I don't fuck around.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't fuck around. I love my kids. They know they don't party with daddy.
I'm just saying though, these are generational. These are our club brothers and sisters. These are kids, their nieces and nephews, and
the
their friends.
female role in the motorcycle community is what?
Okay, when the era of time before social clubs, we were supportive for the men. Definitely. We carried all the guns, knives, did the cooking and all the stuff, whatever the wives didn't do, the women's did, and all that good stuff, had a good time. But right now, still the women are a good backbone and a good support to the men and to the women club, and a lot of the women clubs that are out here, definitely have fought a good fight for us to even be here still as women club to be supported.
Do you think the women hold their own weight as to say we're to be taken serious?
Yes, there are a lot of women that hold their own weight that you are going to respect and you are going to take serious. You know what I'm saying? Like for current right now, like, they don't want to take it serious from me, but I'm not telling you nothing that you can't historically go find out for yourself.
Yeah.
And if I'm saying anything to you, I'm not making this up out the air. Yeah. This is stuff that was taught to me. And I could send you to somebody to talk to. Like I say, I could send you to a historical club, but I wouldn't send you to somebody who got in the club last month in that club. I wouldn't send you to somebody who in that club been in the club lesser than you've been in the club. I'm going to send you to the historian within that club so they can give you the history and the knowledge and the fact that you need so you can know how to just even think. You can think for yourself because there's so many people who not thinking for themselves. They only just believe in what somebody else is telling them or whatever history they made up in their head to make it make sense for them. Like you say, you got to make sense.
So if putting the council back together, like homage out to my brother Muhammad, made man in the game.
I love you, Mr. Muhammad.
Shout out to them, man. Always good to see him too. Soul Brothers,
Yeah,
my
good brother.
all the Soul Brothers.
Shout out to the Soul Brothers. I love every chapter.
Every Fresno, Richmond. They keep talking about, you been fucking with Arizona.
San Jose, we got to get San Jose in there too. We got to get Phoenix in there.
Man, we're going to have to make it.
We got to get East Palo Alto still in there. You got to get Stockton in there. Yeah.
Shout out to the Kings of Cali, my boy.
Sacramento in
Donnie
there.
the Twins.
Oh yeah, Donnie and all them. I love y'all too.
So
I love
like
them
I say,
too.
Oakland is just the shit for me. So I love going to Oakland, man.
You know, the crazy thing is that what I've seen within time is like, I've definitely been here a long time. So I've seen a lot of clubs come, go. I've seen a lot branch off, start new. I've seen a lot of relationships come from this beautiful manifested relationships.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of niggas lose their whole life, wife, kid, family, house, women too. You know, I've seen a lot of people lose, but just being here and seeing all these different waves of different things kind of helped me grow to know and to be able to deal with other people, to deal with the community that I deal with as far as
So do you think, so let me ask you this. Do you think that people love to see you coming or they hate to see you coming?
That's a tricky question, Sil. See, now some would love to see me coming because they'll be like, you know, hey, this, they ask a question and I give them that, you know, the answer to it or whatever. But then you got some that hate to see me coming and wish if they could, they would burn a bitch at the cross like Jesus, swear to God, like this. You know what I'm saying? At the 7 days, I get to resurrect.
Why?
For some who've approached me, you got too much power.
Do I know what I know?
And for me, it's what power do I possess? All I have is the knowledge. As a secretary, that's all I have. And keeping the books right. You know, let me get it right. Men's Choice have been writing minutes for my club since I've been in my club, okay? I volunteer my time to my organization because I want to help keep the books and records right for my organization.
Yeah.
So definitely what I write for my club, I'm definitely utilizing for this room.
Okay.
And when I write just like we in a room of court of law. Because if the judge says to the stenographer, hey, I need you to read this back, from what Sales said to what Tiffany said 2 seconds ago, I'm supposed to be able to read
so
that.
You can't walk out the meeting and say, well, they said this. No, hold on.
And everybody know that if you said it, all the way to my microscopic ears can hear all the way in the back of the motherfucking room what you whispering. I write it down.
Okay.
Because in this room, this is what it's law. This is what it is.
So let me ask you this. Let me just say this. So I'm sure y'all go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think they hate to see you coming because they can't keep telling the same story that they were just telling in your presence.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be like, no. And then if you try to tell me something historical about something that happened way in an era that I definitely know you was not in a club, or your club didn't exist, or you wasn't in this room, this is where I say I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Yeah.
No man and no man club, because I would never disrespect. I only disrespect those who disrespect me. Because I've always kept it classy like a lady. And that's what Sheila Baker say. Always stay a lady. You know what I'm saying? That's what Hardware say. Always stay a lady, but stay true to what you say.
Yeah.
You know? And this frustrates me because, you know, I really want to touch on some points, but I'm just trying to keep it as a lady. Go ahead. Go to the next question. Sis.
No, we own it.
Okay, we own it, but yeah.
We own it.
It's frustrating.
No, we own it. Again, I can understand because but the difference with me, I'll be like, man, you be best friend like so you say back in 72. Because to me, that's the shit. The history is like Hero Benson. I'm like, when I see him, I'll be like, this that nigga, boy, that nigga there, you know, just to know that he was in that iconic picture. When I used to meet Toby Jean, same thing with Phil Baker. That shit. That's why I asked you, how does it feel to be around him? Like, was that a hell of a feeling to be? Because
it was definitely an amazing.
Yeah.
If I would have to rewind time to say, do I want to do this road again or do I don't want to do this road? I would take this road every time, historically, every time. If we was in a time machine, I'll go back still to this day to that time just so I could keep with that knowledge and that history. You know, I would definitely, I would do it again.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
What is this shit about anniversary dates?
Okay. Annuals and anniversaries. Okay. So your anniversary will be the year and date and time that your club was established as a club. Okay. Yearly within that time frame, people would have annual dances, which just would be dance and within
celebration.
And then your main dance will be your such and such date. So say how, for instance, Dragons got the February date, and then they got September. September. Then they got that May date. So so the September date, we know that's the big. Every dance that they have is the big blowout. Yeah. But let's just give an example. We would say that date will be their annual, that year that they were. This is what makes it 67, 95 year. This is what that date is right here. Everything else is just an annual dance. Yeah.
But my question though is, why is this such a problem with clubs being regulated, to say that they can't have a dance on the same day as, let's say, the Dragons?
Okay, so with that, grandfathered in historically within our calendar, those are dates that you just don't touch. It's inconclusive with the Soul Brothers and the Wicked Wills. Those were dates that
Wicked Wills. So
they were grandfathered in dates. They were historically timed. They were grandfathered in into their dates.
So the way
they
have
more dates.
And this is I say this all the time. I think I did a podcast about it the other day. The way I look at it is that you know who is who.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know who been motorcycling, almost like the Santa Claus, the naughty or nice list.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't think that's something that should even be an issue, because again, if you have a party in the Bay Area on any one of those days that East Bay Dragon is having a party, you're gonna have your party. It's just gonna be
it's gonna be you in there, only you. And this is why clubs don't want to go. Certain clubs, like for instance, I've been that club. So when historical time, when me and Choice first got a date, we got the first weekend in November. And we held that day for a long time. You know, it was a flip of the coin whether it was going to rain because it's November. And so I had an opportunity, since I've been president, to move our club up into a date when one of the older clubs had fell off and so I was able to move up. But because our calendar is different from the outside calendar, I didn't have their calendar, so I didn't know. So I've been up against a few clubs a couple of times, like in a whole argument, but it was like, hey, I'm a floater club because the date that I moved off of, I gave another club the opportunity to move up from the end of the month to move into that slot so they can have a better opportunity at a party, because at the end of November, it rained a lot.
So let me ask you this.
Hella rain.
My thing of it is, I think you should have to earn your respect and earn your date. What I mean by that,
that's why you sit on the roll call for the 2 years, and that's how you earn your date.
But even when you get your date, you still should have to put the work. What I'm saying is this, okay? Just because you get a date don't mean you deserve that date. What I'm saying is your club should have to put the work in yearly in order to get the crowd, or to get, for example,
to maintain it. So if you
do have to maintain. I tell everybody, it's just like this. Burger King don't ask McDonald's if they can move next door and sell burgers.
They just gonna move there.
They just gonna move there and make the best man win. So that's how I feel like it should be amongst us, because when you start helping clubs survive, and that's what I call it. To me, we help clubs survive, because if we don't tell everybody, look, man, you can't have nothing on this date, and you got to go support them.
So how we would balance that out is 9 times out of 10, because that has happened historically. And because I've had those run-ins like that, I would move mines to a Friday and say, hey, Sil, do you mind if you don't have your meet and greet and let me just, have my little feng shui on Friday? So I don't have to bump into your day. And that has worked for many years for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And in those smaller clubs who really don't have a crowd, they're able to say, or you'll say, hey, you're a small club. You really don't have no, let's piggyback off us and we'll help you.
Y'all take the picnic or something. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just kind of balanced out everybody, still kept us as a family.
What you just explained was an example of what brotherhood and sisterhood really is.
Supposed to be about.
It never should be an issue. It's something we can do to work it out. Maybe we, if we got to share it some kind of way. You guys, like you said, you take Friday night, y'all take the picnic, we got the annual dance, and we just promote it all 3 ways. So, but then you got we worked harder than them, and they made.
You got the naysayers, you got that.
That was that. So, is there a problem with that debate? Anniversary dates?
Yes, really, because not really, but yes, really, because we're so big now as an organization. Not even just our organization, but other organizations too, and those clubs that are not even in organizations. We're so big now that it's so many of us that is bound to happen. But on a respect level, if like I say, these particular clubs, nobody's gonna go have a party on that day. They're not gonna step on that. But these other clubs, they might say, hey, if they ain't communicated with the person, they'd be like, oh, they on my date. And so I've had to tell clubs who call on the phone like, hey, people from your association, they on our date. And I have to say, well, historically in the calendar, sir, this is their date. Yeah. This been their date since the beginning of time. Now, their club might have started off big, like your club is, and now they've dwindled down to just minimal people, so their party might don't be as massive as yours. But the date already before you came as a club existed.
If you motorcycle, you don't give a fuck. Let them do them, and whoever gonna come to them, gonna come to them.
And we have a lot of that going on. Yeah. So now, for instance, so if you in SAC having a party and somebody in Merced having a party, that's way separated. It's way far from each other. Okay, what can we do about that? Well, I've had a party and
go fuck with who I'm gonna go fuck with.
Yeah, and I've had my party in the Bay Area, and LA had a party the same time frame as me. And you either went to them or you either came to us. So, So you got an option, but we try to keep it where we're gonna support everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so you have clubs that'll say, hey, okay, I'm aware that on this calendar, because this Bay Area calendar says that you're on this date, but the calendar that we own say that we on this date, but I'm gonna send some people to your party. Because you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna send some people to my party, but this is why I say, hey, can you think you can move to Friday? Not the bigger, but I don't try to move nobody because your date is your date. Because I don't want to move. But I have moved, so it won't be no problems. Trying to keep peace.
Big Sil said, fuck your date. Let's rock out. Best man win, best man.
Now, I didn't want to say that, but so,
how do you feel about today's social clubs?
Oh, well, I love the social clubs. I don't have no ill will towards no social club, so, strength in numbers, and to the newer generation of the women coming out, I acknowledge y'all too, and if anything or questions you need to ask, I'm definitely here to give you that.
I had a debate with a cat.
I
had a debate with a cat.
That's the problem, debating.
Yeah, I had a debate with a cat. I'm going to see if you agree.
Okay.
Today's social clubs are nowhere near as nasty or as sexy as how they used to be back in the day.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Pause, player. Hold on, boss. Hold on.
Yeah.
See, it was a certain it was a different era of sexy then. That sexy was that era of which clothes to fit the outfits and all the shit for that era. Because, it was Hoochie Mama outfits back then, too.
I'm talking about back in the day.
What you talking about?
When it was ass and titties in the clubhouse.
It's still ass and titties in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
but no, where the ass and titties is coming in. This is what separates your region from my region. Hold on, fam.
Okay.
See, in your region, they have the property ofs. So you either property of the club itself or you're property of an individual within the club. Okay. Hey, we don't got that. You know what I'm saying? You just got the bust downs, you know what I'm saying? Who finna just go with a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Shit, fucking around with a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Side chick, and main chick, whatever it is, But you know, the nasty out there. Don't get this fucked up, Sil.
Yeah, so I mean, we doing our thing, but
okay, we doing our thing.
It was way more than. So, to the Bay Area bike set, to the whole entire coalition association, what are we doing? Where we at with it?
Well, you know, certain things I can't speak on.
Okay.
For the legal aspect of it all, you know, let's just leave that at that. And what we really doing is, you know, trying to bring it back together.
Okay.
You know, and that's where the restructuring come in at.
Okay.
You know, with the FYI, you remember, yeah, for the restructuring of the situation. You know, nor have I lost my seat as who I am.
Secretary.
Yeah, because I still took the minutes for the meeting for last month.
Okay.
And if I wasn't that person as secretary, then how was I able to do that? Now, it's all over the place, but that's not for me to speak on. But I'm happy that we who are still trying to push this together to put our family back together, to put our circle back whole. I really appreciate each and every one of you, men and women clubs, you know, that are standing firm and strong on this ain't right.
Okay.
How can we fix this?
Okay.
Where does the problem lie so we can get rid of the problem itself overall so that we can get back, you know, rolling.
Wow.
You know, and, you know, just for me, like I say, I just want to ultimately make it be known out there because for some reason it's this misperception that the women are taking over and such and so forth. As far as our organization goes, it's only 9 women clubs in there.
Do you want to take over?
I don't want to take over
Do you want to be led, right?
No, I'm right here where I'm at doing what I'm doing. That's defining enough for me. I don't want to, I'm not here to, I can't take over something that don't even belong to me. Exactly. This man stuff, okay? I'm just your secretary. And then for you to say that historically, okay, I'm gonna give you, no, I wrote me down a little key note right here so I can make sure that you know. Key points of history, facts. This is fun facts, okay? I can't take over something that women were already created into. Okay. We were here as MCs, okay?
Okay.
Our first secretary to this organization, the Black Barrier Bikers Association. First, let's started with that.
Okay.
Her name was Miss Marianne from the Magic Wheels MC out of San Jose, California, okay?
Wow. Okay.
That's one. Our second woman secretary was Miss Ann, founder and member of the Safari Riders MC. Okay. Now, this is the second woman that sat at this table. Okay. Now, current times, third secretary to this organization. That is me.
Wow.
Okay. Miss Ann, I sat right after she passed away. Here I am. So we not here to, I will definitely not me.
Are you the only woman in the officer's position?
No. You have our treasurer, that's Lucy. She's also Safari Rider MC. She is the president of that. So that was her grandmother's club. Okay. So that we have that. Then we also have Felicia, which is the vice president of the Devious Ways MC out of Oakland, California. She's an assistant secretary to me. Okay. And that's who we have that sits at our table as far as women go. That were voted in.
3 females.
Yeah.
So that only leave 4 males?
But
president, chair, vice chair, sergeant at arms. You got that sergeant at arms?
Yes, his name is Vegas out of the Wicked Wheels.
Chair, vice chair, sergeant at arms, secretary, business manager. Yes.
Well, the business manager that
I'm just trying to guess the title. I'm just
guessing the titles. But those us 3, yes. But 2 of the women that sit there are MC clubs. They're not an SC. However, that they have breast, tits, and ass like me, they are MC clubs. And the one MC club, Safari Riders, historically started in time when time started. So she used the Safari Riders were in the San Francisco Rattlers MC Club, where that was co-ed and it was multi-raced.
Okay.
Okay.
So they branched off.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
All right. Well, so ladies ain't trying to take over.
No,
We
not
just
at
trying
all.
to make sure y'all get it right.
Yeah. And even with that, like for instance, like the clubs who've come historically after men's choice was established and all the such and such, those clubs, and I mean they can speak on them, and some of these are clubs that are not a part of our organization. A lot of them, they can historically say, you know what, hey, that lady right there, meaning me, that's the lady who we got our bylaws from when we first came, and we tried to, and we didn't meet the criteria to be in this room, but we gonna be out here. And Mr. Baker said, "Hey, go sit at the table. She's gonna give you her phone number. And if you got any questions, because how protocol would go is just like if you're the owner of Clorox, the company, okay? I come in the door and say, hey, I want to speak to the owner of Clorox, the company, sir. The first person I meet when I come in the door is going to be security. Where are you going, ma'am? I'm going to the second floor so I can talk to the owner of Clorox. I'm going to get upstairs to the second floor. The next person I'm going to be greeted by is the secretary or the assistant.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, hey, I want to speak to Big Sal, the owner of Clorox. Do you have an appointment?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't have no appointment, but I want to talk to him. Let me call in here to him. Hey, Sal, I have a lady out here. I want to talk to you. She says she needs to have a moment with you, an appointment. You say, well, what is it about? Oh, man, what is this referring? I want to talk about the new blue bleach.
Okay.
Okay, well, either you have time to see me or you didn't. Or he would advise his secretary, make an appointment.
Yeah, I told you handle that shit.
Yeah.
I'm handling that shit.
Yeah.
You handle that shit.
And that's how that would go.
Yeah.
So from that right there, I think a lot of people took the misperception that, now since he's not here, oh, she's taking over. No,
She's stopping or she's trying to,
I'm used to a certain protocol. So if I was taught a certain type of way, then,
I'm sorry. This just protocol. You don't just get to run in there and talk to the president. Yeah. That ain't how I do. Yeah. Understand it. Yeah, I ain't flexing. It's what it is. Let me know what you want. Write it down, put it, and I'll discuss it with him and he'll get back to you. Yeah. Well, I definitely say we've had a ball today. I think a lot was said. The biggest thing is I can tell from your passion that, listen, man, we just want to do this thing the right way. We want you to come here right. We want you to enjoy yourself. We want everybody to get along. And we want this thing to be the best brother and sisterhood that it can be.
Because at the end of the day, if I call you my brother, Sal, if I call you my brother and you call me your sister, there's a certain type of what I'm looking for in the middle of that keeps us as brothers and sisters. And if a motherfucker come for you, I'm you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, fuck with the niggas and hey, I ain't being messy, but I'm keeping you protected. Period. And I expect that from you to me as well,
Agreed.
So when I'm out here advocating or out here like, nah, don't take it as, here she comes.
She ain't hating on you.
I ain't taking over. I don't hold. I don't got no magic stick. I don't got no power stick. I ain't on no power struggle. I know who I am. I'm the secretary. I'm your bookkeeper. And then here it say, no, in 1965, nigga, and I was born in 71. But it say right here. What you want me to say? It's not true. The people before me wrote that. Okay, well, let me go resurrect a couple of these motherfuckers up so they can tell you too. Period. Let's have a seance or something. I don't know. But I had put a post on the internet that said, the set, it got a little soft on me. And I might have to dig up the old niggas so they can come back and make this set right. I just told a young man in the club.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I just told a young man in the club, like, we're going to have to do what we call as a recall. The old head told me that. And I learned that from one of the old heads that I met when me and Sheila finally, we went to the Proc. After Phil had came home from the Proc, he passed away. And then that year we didn't go, but the next year we went. the next year we went, and when we went, one thing I did get to learn is that I love my chairman. You hear me? He left this earth. You hear me? Because one of the people in there he said, you got to get you one like this. You got to get you a secretary that you got to get you one. You can't have her, but you got to get you one. Can't have mine. You can't have mine, but you got to get you one like that. And now I see why. And then 221 fun fact. Now I get why doubling back on something we said. Now I get why that some of those old heads didn't torch that over like that.
Yeah.
Because if you torch it to the wrong person, it's going
because they're gonna stand on people gonna believe what they say, like standing on what you said it was, and that wasn't what it was. Yeah. So it's hard to pass the torch.
Yeah, and here I am having to be 22, learning, listening, keeping secrets, holding shit.
Let me just tell everybody in the Bay Area. Let me just tell you this: you guys ought to be glad to have a historian with documented facts. That shit right there to me is the world. Documented facts, not just a he say, she say, but documented facts. I think you should be protected at all times. You should be put in a vault somewhere, and you should be walking on motherfucking flower roses. How they do it coming to America? Everywhere you go, this motherfucker should be laying out roses.
They steady laying out bombs for a bitch to blow up. Hey, wait for me. Wrong step, wrong, hit the mine.
I'm telling you that right there, that is powerful. That your notebooks of information.
See, I be careful with that word. That the word power is that the problem. Motherfucker think that bitch got too much power. It ain't even about power.
But
it's about
knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So if I got the knowledge, don't be mad at me because you don't know how to read.
They want to destroy that knowledge.
I know they do because they get to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got to understand that as long as you're here, as long as you're alive. As long as you're alive,
it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, my story can't be actual factual.
You know.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm only here for my brothers and my sisters and my people, and I'm here to give the as one of the young ladies, shout out to Marie Carter from the Black Diamonds. That is our coordinator currently right now, and she says, I want my flowers and my gems where I can get them. So I always say to her in joking, I say, hey, let me give you a gem, girl. Let me give you a gem. You want your gems? You got your gem basket here. Make sure you keep these gems polished up now.
So Hurt to Jerk, you say support clubs and SC should support dominant clubs. Hold on. And support clubs should fall under a dominant club protocol of clubs. Well, Hurt the Jerk.
I got him too, Mr. Jerk. I got him. Okay. I don't know him, but I got you the answer to that. You're right. And in our day, and from historical historians, yes, that was a way that things had to be. But you had to be a man club had to be on top of the women club as a support situation. But at some point in time, according to the historians, it became a bunch of pussy and dick problems. know if he heard that.
No, I don't think he heard that. There we go.
Okay. I don't know what part I fell off on at with you, sir, but the supporter clubs at SCs and belonging to dominant clubs, yes, men MCs had to be a supporter to the lady MCs within our region. But a lot of, as the elders would say, pussy and dick shit started happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, example, I'm gonna get this example again. Hear what I say, y'all. If Men's Choice wanted to come out as a club, I would go attach myself to a 1% or dominant or whatever it is above me to have a man club on top of me. Now, 9 times out of 10, I'm fucking one of them niggas, sucking their dick, whatever the fuck it is, to get my club in so I can do what I got to do. Okay. But now I done all this work to do all that, to hang out and do whatever. But then another woman club come along. They really think that they finer than we are fine. So they want to be a supporter to them. So now it's a bunch of messy ass shit going on because now you want to throw us to the wolves. You don't want to be on top of us no more.
The West Coast really don't have dominance though.
Well, they say we do have dominant clubs. Like our dominant clubs are our older clubs. So if you had to categorize it, those would be our dominants. You know what I'm saying? Are you
diamond club?
Diamond meaning like what 1%?
Yeah.
Okay, we do have 1% clubs down there. So we do in our region. We do have 1%ers now.
Are they the dominant? You said now.
Yeah, we
we didn't have that back.
We didn't have that back then. Like it wasn't. You know, I mean, we did have. Well, we didn't have in our organization, but within our region, we did have 1% clubs. So there. No. Yeah. But they were clubs still mingling with each other. So I can't count them out as a whole.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So yeah, there were.
Well, my whole thing of it is that, and I'm gonna just say it like this, and I say this all the time. I'm a grown man. I ain't got time to be worried about what the females is doing. I ain't got time to be worried about what another club is doing because I'm only worried about my club. I feel like when you start attaching clubs to clubs, well, this SC got to be under this MC, and they got to. Yeah.
Well, see. Now we was in that mode where that was happening, where the men were on top of the women, and you had to have that until one of the women clubs out of Sacramento had a club on top of them in Sacramento. Okay. But once that woman club had done something in violation, and Mr. Becker was like, "Hey, man, club, you got a fine to pay because these women was out here with the shenanigans, and now y'all got to pay." That the president of that club at the time was like, "Oh, hell no, we pay for the women's and this and that and the third." Oh, no. He said, no. You said that you was sponsoring this club. You was on top of this club. You're going to be responsible for this club. So the responsibility to that is a fine. Mm. Well, after that blew up in meeting that day, it was like, okay, from this point on, he hit the table with his fist, boom. He say, "This is what I'm going to do." Because this is where the pussy and dick problem is, keep lying with that. So we're going to separate that. If I got a problem with you and your club, woman, Men's Choice, I'm coming to the president of Men's Choice for the problem. If I got a problem with the man club, whatever the club may be, I'm coming to you for your problem. I'm coming to you for your fine. I'm coming to these women for their fine. So we're going to separate that because it became such a problem. Because once that club, like I say, wasn't fucking on that club no more, then, you know what I'm saying, now you don't want us to respect them or let them come in the door, can't have all this.
They want a blackball.
Yeah, but no, all of us had to, now you putting all of us involved into that bullshit.
Yeah.
That messy ass pussy dick shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, all that got threw out the window.
That's right. What they to do. Kudos to that, goddamn. Because I think every club should have to stand on their own.
And that's where he had it. Every club stood on their own because, like I say, the man club was like, "Oh no." Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. So I think we done had us a good time tonight. I think we got a lot of things done and exposed. The Bay Area, much love to you. If you could leave anybody listening to this with one thing, what would it be?
If I could leave you with one thing, it's a lengthy one thing.
Go ahead. No.
Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your club. Stay true to the facts, the reason that you stay in your club. Stay bonded with your brothers. Stay bonded with your sisters, because at the end of the day, we all we got. Period.
Yeah.
We all we got. Because I definitely see us as a nation when it's time to pull together on some shit, when we have to pull together, I see this family coming together, you know? So definitely, if I have to say one last thing and I'm out, is that if you get to get a torch for some reason that somebody torched you, be humble with that torch.
Yeah.
Don't take that torch, blow the flame out like fuck this torch and go do something else. Take the torch, keep it lit. Because the reason and the purpose that you got it is because the person who believed in you said, hey, I think this person can take this a long time and take it a long way. Like my founder, Gloria Miller, when she said she was retiring from Men's Choice, we came to meeting. She didn't say, I'm coming in, we finna have a vote. She came in and said, I'm finna torch this torch to her. I'm torching it to her because I know that she will be that what I have been looking for, the gem in the bottom of the haystack. And for 28 years, I have been her. So, yeah.
What I'm gonna tell you guys is this, man. When it comes to this motorcycle thing, there are rules, some written, some unwritten. But at the end of the day, this shit is about being a grown man and being a grown woman, being a brother, being a sister. And there's no rule book for that. So today may be this way, tomorrow may be that way. But with communication, love, and understanding that we're all in the same game. We're all playing the same game. We all got the same pieces on the board.
First,
go ahead.
Let me give you this too, y'all. This is your motherfucking hobby. Okay? Riding bikes, the love for bikes, being brothering with your brothers and sisters, with your sisters. This was our hobby. Every weekend was your outlet to get away from your crazy ass kids all week, your work day all week, whatever the case may be, relationship, whatever. This was our outlet for our fun time. A lot of people have taken this fun time and our hobbies and have incorporated this into their lives because that's all that they have is this. And I get it, but this ain't your life. This ain't your life. This your hobby. Doing what men do and what they love, riding their motorcycle. But I can't truthfully say that you are that if you don't even go past the Altamont or the Grapevine, okay? I got more miles on a flight. Do you hear what I'm saying, people? Than some of these niggas got bagging their bikes up in front of their homes or in their garage, okay? This is your hobby. You took the fun out of the hobby of it. Doing all this sissy la ass shit that's happening right now.
You understand this too. A lot of these cats ain't never been around women, beautiful or not so beautiful. So this is the chance they get to be all that they can be. Why you think you get to come to the bike set and make yourself a new name? You get to go from Reggie to Killer Mike.
And because people don't know you, they gonna believe you really Killer Mike. You know what I'm saying? But whatever picture you paint, that's your picture. And I can't take that away from you, Picasso, because that's what you painted. Yeah. You know, everybody, and that goes for any and everybody. You are the author to the biography of your life. Yeah. What you write in your chapters in your book is what you write in, and what you take out is what you take out. At the end of the day, nobody can tell you how to write your book. But if you're going to write a book, make sure you got the history and your facts up in there so that people can know that this book is really real. It's really real.
Hey, man, it's your boy Big Cell, FHOHNIC, man. My girl Tiffany then came in here, showed out, put it to you raw and uncut. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys had a chance to enjoy this. Now, I will say this. For some of us, this motorcycling shit is a lifestyle. It is not our lifestyle, but it is a lifestyle.
Yes.
So it's a difference. But
big difference.
If you're grown, you understand that. I don't have to explain that.
Mm-mm.
Love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Listen, man, make sure you like, subscribe, share the channel. And again, thank y'all for being with me through all these technical issues and everything else. We got to get it all worked out. But again, man, all glory be to the Most High God. Tiffany, you get home safe.
You search for me. Y'all search for me.
Y'all better take care of her.
And you spell my name different now.
And take care of these goddamn books and these records. And matter of fact, you know what? You need to start like printing out some of this, something like 1970, printing like making books or like some shit and passing them out to some of them. But let them read it. Let them read some of these club meetings and these to see how it was, to see what they discussed. It should help them with a lot of shit. I know I would love to just get 2 or 3 meetings from this year, 2 or 3 meetings from that year, and just read them. And I can imagine it's very interesting. So that's what it is, man. You guys got a historian here. You got a legend right in your presence. Embrace the love and show some love, man. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being there with your boy, man. And again and again and again.
You can find me on my social media at
Make sure you do.
Instagram.
Make sure you do.
Facebook. Sure you do. My name is spelled Tiphany Smith.
Tiffany.
Tiphany. Yeah, however you pronounce it. It's
Tiphany
Smith. S-M-I-T-H. Fine. Tiphany. You know what I'm saying?
First you
the
get
real
the money.
TIP. You hear me?
Then you.
Oh my goodness. There it is there, man. So
I do want to thank you though, Sil, for letting me come and sit on your stool, your couch,
get the power.
and your podcast. Definitely thank you for having me. I appreciate this moment.
Man.
Then you get respect.
All right, y'all. We out of here. We gone. Enjoy yourself. Love, life, peace, hair grease, the whole 9 yards. Boom. See y'all next week or see y'all tomorrow.
And I don't have no time to play with truth or to be diplomatic. To hell with you diplomats and your foolish diplomacy. Speak straight words. Because those are the words that will bring about a change. Not this delicate language. I want to be politically correct. How in the hell can you be politically correct when you're blind, deaf, and dumb and destroyed by your enemy? To hell with you and your political correctness. Be a man. Be a woman. And speak the truth. And then die on that truth if it comes to that. Stand up. And we won't have to have these kind of radio broadcasts in the future. We'll be sitting down talking about what we have done, what we have